It's been a while since I put the Land Rover on the road. Started using it about 9 months ago. So I've been meaning to do a walk around video for a while, but I've got distracted by moving house, which is a project in itself. But yeah, sort of thought I'd run through everything that I've done on it since I got it, which is about 3.5 years ago now. Did a welding course at the local adult college. Really like welding. I'm coming on as well. Yeah, I've replaced all outriggers on this Land Rover. Put new braces on there for them as well. Behind the outriggers, the chassis rails often needed repairing. The rear tub outriggers, I've got alley plates behind where they mount on. I cut those mounts off the old outriggers and used them again. This side was a bit more extensive. She needs a wash. Trouble with using them on the road, they actually start to get some dirt. Yeah, and a new tank, so both new tank outriggers here, new tank. The chassis rail behind, well, between these two outriggers actually needed replacing, which I did. Not done anything on the rear cross member. Just put some new flaps there. Put some new flaps on. Painted the rear cross member. I put new parabolic GB springs on the back. Don't ask me how they compare to leaf springs, because I've never driven a Land Rover without GB springs on the back on the road. So all I know is what I've got. I bent up new brake pipes for the whole vehicle. Fit those myself. It's very rewarding, I would say, to make up your own brake pipes. I recommend it for the enjoyment factor, but for time and cost effectiveness, probably just buy a set, you know, although I did enjoy learning how to do it. And in sort of 9 months of road use now, she hasn't lost a drop of brake fluid out the reservoir, so nothing's leaking, it's all sound. The bulkhead, some of you will know, I've done this driver's side bulkhead corner, fit a new pillar. Found these seats, which have the right number of ribs. I know, I'm a bit like that. Yeah, got the old seat belts, which I've had out and washed. Quite like those old static cloth seat belts. There's some Rover, stitched Rover logos on there somewhere as well. Yeah, the pillar's nice. I had some footwell repairs in there as well. So this side is all good. This door seal, the door, after fitting my pillar, the door fit and shut absolutely lovely till I put this seal in. It's one of the seals that you rivet in. It's got like a metal insert to hold the shape, and then just, you know, this is loose at the front. But it is not loosening up, so I have a very difficult door shut now, unless you spend a lot of time sort of pressing it in with your finger, which I'm going to replace it for something else. So I don't know if there's much to say about inside other than I put the right seats in, I've got a period correct wheel, I've got a Series 3 indicator stalk on here at the moment because it works. There's no heater at the moment. There's these electric screen heaters, which I'd like to remove at some point and get an old fog stirrer heater down there would be nice, and plumb that in. I quite like that, even if it's less effective, it's more original, and that's kind of what I like. There's a new wiper motor in over there, which I had to wire up. I had a fair bit of electrics to sort out and remove old hacks and bodges and things. Found a grill at a price I could just about stomach. Expensive now. Other than that, engine wise, I fit some new hoses. I tried to save the old water pump which was leaking. It had a Rover stamped on the moulding, but I couldn't get anyone that had a press that would have a go at changing the bearings and the impeller and that for me. And lo and behold, they said it'd break when they tried, so they wouldn't touch it, and when I tried myself it broke. So there's a replacement water pump on there, but it doesn't leak, so there we go. It's an original reservoir which is not leaking. It hasn't dropped any brake fluid in sort of 9 months of road use. Did all the usual sort of changing the oil filter and cleaning out the air filter, and let me see, new leads, new dizzy cap, condenser, new points, set the points gap, new plugs. There's a video about switching to this Zenith, which so far is going well. It definitely starts better. I don't know if that's because the float chamber on the Weber was leaking. I used to have to hand prime the fuel pump, petrol pump down there, if I wanted to start it after a week or two, but I don't have to anymore. It starts very well. What else have I done in here? The reason I've got a duck egg blue timing cover is because that was off to do the front seal, and I took the opportunity to tap some threads so the seal plate can be held in with machine screws, so when I need to do the front seal again I don't have to take the timing cover right off. I don't think I've done anything else in here other than new brake and clutch cylinders. There's some new, well, electrics wise, tidied up all this wiring into some fabric, fit some relays in here for new lights both sides, so they're on relays, the main beams on another relay. The rad's okay at the moment, it's not leaking. I did, in my very eager early days with it, remove the oil and the petrol pump and give both a service. Oil pump clearances on the gears were absolutely fine, and the petrol pump I just fit some new gauze and filter and valves and things. Oh, and a new alternator. Mustn't forget the new alternator. There was one on there when I got it off of Ford, and the belt wasn't aligned properly. It wasn't running true off of the main flywheel. So with various shims and an alternator bracket, I've got a proper alternator on there. Yeah, I think it's had a new, I remember putting a new temperature sensor in there, trying to get the water temperature on the dash to read correctly. It does read better now. Both the fuel and temperature read lower than they should, rather than the fuel gauge reading a bit lower and the temperature, I mean, you turn the ignition on and it would go to boiling hot straight away, which wasn't right. But now it just reads low-ish, and I think that's the I can't think what they're called now. Bimetal resistors behind those gauges are probably very old. So I may at some point try adjusting them, but I know to double what the fuel gauge is telling me for what's in there, and likewise for temperature, roughly. So yeah, I think that is actually all to say about under here. At the front end, what have I done? Track rod, steering damper. The steering relay I haven't had out, but I fit new seals and spent a long weekend blowing diesel through it from above to unclog it where it had dried up through leaking its oil away, and yeah, couldn't get any new oil into it, but I eventually got there. And the seal at the bottom seems to keep it in largely for now. I didn't fit new swivel housings. I cleaned up the swivel housings, but I fit new seals, and I can't remember what a lot of the things I've done now actually. It's getting on for, like, some of it's 2 or 3 years ago. I see some new flexi hoses up there. All the brake parts are new. Shoes, brake cylinders, flexi hoses, the pipes, as I said earlier. Checked the spline wear on the drive shafts, seem fine for now. I haven't opened up the diff at the moment. Haven't needed to. These leaf springs were old, and I separated them all leaf by leaf and cleaned them up and greased them and everything like that. Like the brake pipes, it was enjoyable, but I probably wasn't preserving anything very original. They were probably just pattern leaf springs. So I don't know, good for a one-time exercise. Probably wouldn't do it again. Would probably fit GB springs on the front when it's time, but if I ever want to save some old original leaf springs, then I'll be more confident about it. Not much else to say at the front. I've rebuilt both these dumb irons. That's worth mentioning, definitely. Yeah, I'll maybe insert some photos here. So that was a step up from what I've done on the chassis so far, and they're all sound now. They're very good, very strong. I had bigger tyres on it when I got it, and series rims, but I picked up a set of 5 90 rims, tubeless, which I prefer. That's fine. Everyone strikes their own balance with originality and, you know, ease of use, and I like just having tubeless rims, and I can put 30 in all round, and they're fine. All the lights were done. I put on these wing mirrors. Some people say they're small, but I think mine would originally have had them on the wing like that, and they're enough for me. If I drive up to a show on a bigger road for the first time, I might wish I had something bigger, but so far so good. I don't think there's much else to say. On this side, yeah, I've got some work to do on the bulkhead this side. Certainly the bottom of the door pillar. Someone's had a rush job on the bulkhead corner at some point. I forgive previous owners a lot. They probably never know. Someone needed an MOT before next week because they got to get to work in it or something, you know. So a lot of these things are rushed. It's not because people want to rush it, it's just they're forced to sometimes. What else to say? I've got a reinforcing rib to get on there at some point. Cross members tidy. So, right. I'm not sure what the quality will be like on this. I might upgrade the camera if I keep making videos. I'll stop using the phone. Pick a day with less sunshine, so on and so on. Anyway, see you next time.